name's Sugiyamaga, and today on VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we're going to be working on slapping some pieces of plywood together, and we're going to make a tool stand. Somewhat similar to the tool stand this is on. This is currently on my table saw stand. So, really looking forward to getting this project done. Had a really exciting pre-stream moment of popping a breaker, don't run multiple electric heating things at the same time, all that good stuff, but yeah. So, let's go ahead and get our safety glasses on, and let's move into this project. So, this is going to be, this piece I have right here is essentially the bottom for the stand. This is actually going to be, and this is it facing up. So, as you can see, we have two very poorly cut dados on either side of this guy. So what we're going to do here is I have one of my top sides. So what I'm going to do here, let's not kick stuff off the table saw stand. Let's not do that. So let's get 1, 2. Around, nice and easy like, and then what we're going to do is we're going to line that up in our dado, roughly like so. Kind of can't see it too well, but my piece is over there. So this is not going to want to hold very well at the get-go. This is just, so this is my, that's the right direction. That seems better for the countersink. So that's my countersink sunk. And then I'm grabbing my drill, the magic bit, and the magic screw. So what I'm trying to do right now is I am just going to get my stuff as reasonably lined up as I like, and get my first hole drilled. And with my first hole drilled, I can switch out these. Stay together just for a little while. Just for a little while, please and thank you. And then with that, we can get our first screw in, which is happening just outside of camera view. Okay. Let's see here. And there we go. Yes. Now I've got one screw in this bad boy. That is enough to hold it together while I get the rest of my screws in. So I'm going to do, so I've got one screw in, we're going to do 3 more. So I'm going to come down here a little ways. Do a countersink there. Countersink down there. Come up here. And we'll get some countersinks done now. But yeah, getting that first screw in is very, very important because that holds your project together while you work on it. So yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone out there is having a lovely day. Other than my little pre-stream mishap. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Actually spent today before stream working on, I was breaking down I actually got a pallet from work today, and I've been needing some additional firewood. Well, like fire starter, because I like using pallet wood for that because 1, it's typically quite dry, and 2, it's made of pine, and 3, it is the right price. Free. Free is the right price. Okay. So, oh yeah, we're feeling very solid there. Ha 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 ha, that's what we want. That is what we want. So, we can now actually take off. So, one thing I wish to kind of make a note of at this point in the game is the reason I am not putting screws down here in my corner, either one of my corners, because eventually I'm going to be mounting casters. I'm going to be using slightly larger screws, and I wish to avoid having screws here just because I don't want to accidentally hit these screws, because we're going to actually attach some boards, some trim boards that are going to go around this bottom frame that are going to help support the projects. So, as you can see, we have achieved our L for the day. This is our L for the day. So this is going to be a side support piece. It's essentially going to go in our back. So this guy can come in here. He's going to fit in there. Something like this. Doesn't want to stay put where I want them, but that's fine. Because I'm going to make sure they stay put where I want them. Eventually. There we go. That's our countersink sunk. Grab the magic Makita-kun and drill one hole. Pre-drill hole number 2. Switch out bits and grab screws. So yeah, this is essentially the piece of today's stream. It's going to be countersink, pre-drill hole, install screw. Now, I do want to take a moment to kind of talk a little bit about countersinking. Now you can see our piece of board is a little bit warped away from our far edge, but we can pull that, but it's no big deal. But let's go ahead and talk about countersinking. So, you can see right here, we have first 2 screws, and the heads are flush with the surface. Chat is the magic of countersinking. Countersinking makes it so much easier for it's a nice thing. It is a nice thing. I have not, as you can see, I've not done a great job historically, but one of my goals going into 2026 is like, okay, we've got a foundation here. We've got a really good foundation of woodworking skills and experience. Let's build on it. Let's build on it. So, more plywood. There's going to be a lot of plywood today, guys. There's going to be a lot of plywood. Today is one of those what people in the biz call a plywood heavy stream. It can be very plywood heavy. Let's see. Need that to fit into that potato reasonably good as I can. And you guys think that is about as reasonably good as a view as I can offer. So. Squirrely. Go ahead and get our countersink taken care of. watch this thing. I watch this thing like a hawk. It's not going to hold together. Until... It's fun. That's a little less than ideal for your screw to spin, because that means the threads aren't doing as much gripping. But this is held, this is secured. That's good. That is very much good. Then I can worry about stuff up there, which apparently I am going to have some things up there to slightly worry about, but I can take care of that when we get to it. But for now, let's finish securing this up. Countersinking's fun. I gotta say, countersinking's some fun stuff. So, grab screws here. Now we're gonna really up the rigidity of this panel to the side. Go. Well, that's our second screw. Screw number 3. And that's screw number 4. Ooh, wait, that was... Oh yeah, because the threads are not gripping. That's why you popped out. That's why you popped out. But our carcass, our furniture carcass is now a lot more stable, locked into itself. So, next step from here is, I'll say a little bit. Let's see what we can get away with here. Let's see. There might be a lot of camera moving today. And I can. You guys out a little bit. Okay, that scared me. So, next up is 3 countersinks across the back. So that's going to be in there. And what these are going to do, they are going to help hold our top, this small top back piece. So I'm going to line it up flush. So I'm going to line it up flush with the top here. And we're going to take care of the far side first. Now the reason why we're taking care of the far side first is because that is the direction it is wanting to bow in. So once we go ahead and get it secured in that dimension, that pretty much means we're going to be good. So okay. Owie. Some solid. Sweet. So we're going to do some pre-drill. 2 more holes for 2 more screws. So we're going to be slowly accumulate. Oh wait. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Keepers, creepers.
Hello? Sorry about that. Oh gosh. Oh dearie. Oh gosh. I guess when I flipped the breaker, my Bluetooth microphone got desynchronized. or something. So we got that. We got that, so that's all nicely installed. We have ourselves real nice solid to our bottom. Now, weeb jokes. Don't know if funny or not. So we'll bring this up. Now, I can see right here, right now, this this piece is really bowed that way. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that right here and right now, because we want to bring it in to this, and that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why we have this piece of wood right here. This piece of wood is to help hold this and pull it in. Otherwise, it may want to flap. It's just going to flap out. So, our first measure of corrective action is 2 countersinks. If countersink for 1 and there. Countersink for 2. That's 2 countersinks. Oh, Jerry. Okay, that hole could have been better executed, the top one, but that's fine. So, I'm going to be upgrading my screws here. So, originally I was working with these interior grade screws. These little guys here. We're gonna upgrade those to deck screws. These are, I think these are the screws I was using earlier are 1.25 inches, and then the deck screws are 1 5/8. They're a hair bit longer. The reason why we're upgrading to the deck screws is since they're longer, they're more likely to go through the material, bite into it, and essentially do what we want. And that is bring our panels up the square. So since the lower one has less distance to travel, ooh, I don't, how holding is that? A little bit, okay. Okay, that is holding though. I'm gonna have to be real careful with this second guy. Cause I gotta get the angle right. Okay. Now, let's bring our carcass over, and where you guys can see a little bit better without being too grand with the viewpoint. So, Angle says, we're really good on this side of the world. Speed squared. We're looking really good on that side of the world. Now, this is flush. Granted, you can see we have a slight gap here. We have, well, you could, it slides nicely on the table saw. Doesn't slide so nicely elsewhere, but we've got ourselves gap. A little bit of a gap down there. So, out of an excessive overabundance of caution, I'm adding a 3rd screw. I feel like it's not super particularly necessary, but hey, I'm gonna over screw this just because I noticed because one of my 2 screws didn't bite. I kind of I over torqued it a little bit, and that was kind of unfortunate. There we go. I want to cinch down that top one, but I don't want it to not bite. That would be bad. Oh, there we go. But now I can throw this bad boy around. Okay, so that's actually page 8's instructions. Ooh, this is exciting. Now we get to move on to the next step, which is we're basically gonna put a shelf right in about here. Now, there's those, oh, oh, give me a moment. I have buried work pieces. The work piece I need right now is buried under many other work pieces. So I must move work pieces to access that which I desire. Come over here. You guys can sit there. You might play nice. You might just ruin my day. I don't too particularly care. I don't really particularly care. Okay, cool. So, tape measure, coon. So, I am interested in the height of this guy right here, which is 5.5 inches. The reason why I want to find the height out is I have this work piece. This is actually going to be part of the shelf. That's gonna, because we're actually basically making a small box down here for a shelf, which at 5.5 inches, I don't know if I'm going to have that kind of room or not, but we'll see. So, but what this guy here is going to do for us is all it's going to do is give us a little bit of support on that far side of the world. So that way, let's see here. So the 23 is my long side. Wait. Uh-oh. Wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, wait, that's unnecessarily exciting. Oh boy, I may have. So, I have somehow vaguely messed up a little bit here when I was dimensioning out these parts, because this part right here was supposed to be 24 inches. No, it's supposed to be 23 3/4 in that direction and 24 in this dimension. But I have a piece that's 23 3/4 here to here and 25.5 this way, which I don't know. Was this the... Did I do that to the one I put the dados in? No, I didn't. The one with the dados is 25.5. Did I not cut a piece down? I may have not cut a piece down. So here's where I am at. I have to think. I have options. So option 1 is send it. If I send it, I have lost 1/4 inch, which to, let me exaggerate, I need a knife. Yay, knife. Yay, stabbing. Yay, stabbing. We're going to stab furniture. We're going to be furniture stabbers today. So to exaggerate my 1/4 inch conundrum, means I have that gap there. Because I am 23 3/4 in this dimension, I am a hair bit short. So that's kind of, so I am short here, but I'm a little bit long in that dimension. So this sticks out a little bit more than I'm intending. So, solutions. So, potential solutions. I mean, I could honestly just live with this. Granted, there is supposed to be a shelf that lives down here. So if I have that overhang, I picked up a splinter. Okay, so if I have a whole overhang over there, then then it makes it harder to access the shelf that's supposed to be under this bad boy. So I have to take 1.5 inches off this piece of wood. So I was actually not intending this, but I think honestly, because the simple and easy answer is this workpiece is 1.5 inches longer in one dimension. Just one dimension. That's pretty easy fix, especially at the table saw. It's just I was not anticipating having to do a table saw cut today. So I'm underprepared for a table saw cut. So what I will do now is prepare for a table saw cut. Please stay there and not fall down. I don't trust you. You're going to the floor. And I put it on the floor. And you guys get to just go look at the table saw. Go look at the table saw. Table saw looks really nice this time of year. And now I need power. Need incredible power. Granted, I did also, my big to-do project yesterday was finally doing the things I needed to do to get my dust collection working. Well, my main dust collector set up. But since we're going to be firing up the table saw to make cut, we'll go ahead and throw on that. But now we have power, and with power, something happens. I don't know. So we'll go ahead, get that bad boy plugged in. However, though, I need a fence that's behind it. And this is these are all sorts of fun shenanigans that happens while you're, always seems to happen a fair bit while I stream sometimes. I didn't expect that it would be messing up in the way like this, though. Find nearest available caster. Caster is locked because I don't want this wiggling when I try to send my board through. So we are rip cutting, well, cross cutting 24 inches of board, which means we refer to the, because I got two scales. I got the scale that's in white, which is based off this pin, and then I have a scale in yellow that's marked off this pin. And then I can use different scales for different things. So, raise the blade. Ooh, look, it's a dangerous thing. Dangerous thing that makes me excited. And a piece of reference for both me and the chat. to set my blade height. Okay, that seems reasonable. Cool. So, blade is raised. That looks really, really, really close. Really, really, really close. I think I might just be a hair bit. Might have been a hair bit long. So I fixed that. Took my fence, brought it in a little bit. Nope, easy to do. So we got this. So, and this is a big reason why I like marking out sides with dimensions, especially if the dimensions are close. Because I've got 23 3/4 here, and I have 25 and a half here. These are very similar dimensions. Granted, my 25 and a half is taking place is this side right here. So we're going to be slicing a chunk off the other side. Actually, we're just going to leave that there. So we're just going to feed this through like this. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking at my far end here, and I'm seeing which end better lines up with my fence. Because there is a little bit of unevenness to some of my ends here, with the exception of this one, the one that's facing me. Whenever I'm breaking down sheet goods in general here in the shop, I always label the edges that are factory edges with an F. These are going to be a lot more reliable, a lot more crisp. I can trust them. So I'm feeling really, 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 really good here. Just want some safety device. So prepped, ready to go. Was not expecting to make sawdust today, but here we are, actually. Bumpkiss. Gonna go ahead, lock 2 casters in on the table saw. So table saw's ultra, not going anywhere. We're looking good, feeling confident. Let's make a safe cut. And there we go. It is a horrendous amount of prep work to do one task. To the yonders. But now with that, this is 24 inches. It is appropriately sized for our project. Actually, I should leave that until assembly. And then to keep any spooky business from going on, we're going to unplug the table saw. And then just basically kind of break things down a little bit. I'm not going to try to get super cleaned up, but because, we got a project to move along. Oh, boy. Can't believe it hit the floor. And it went to the floor. But that's no big deal. No big deal there. Okay. Let's grab this guy. Because we don't need him now. Well, we just need him to get out of the way. Oh, gosh. Because the carcass is back. So we'll just reposition our little handy dandy holdy. And if we go in like this. Oh, come on. Oh man, this is exciting. So the distance between these two pieces is we got ourselves a very clean, a very flush fit. Oh boy, oh boy, that's exciting. That's nice. That's really nice. Got a little bit of unevenness on my edge, but I don't care. We went from rut roll raggy to we're doing all right. So, because I now have the incredible assistance of the force known as gravity, I no longer have to worry too much about doing one screw first, then the order of operations you saw at one point in the stream to now have changed because gravity is literally just that powerful. It's an incredibly powerful thing. Very good tool too. So, cinch one screw, two, and once again we can see countersinking in action. Look how flush those screw heads are to their surface. It looks so much nicer. You can totally build shop furniture without countersinking. I have done it so many times. It just looks a lot better. Okay, so we now. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, what do we want to do? We'll do something like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, this is it's enough area for me to work and enough area to demonstrate. So I have a piece here. Now, we've talked earlier about, actually, does that work right? Yes, it does work right. Yep. Okay, so here's what's going on. I want to see where this board is back here, where I can't see it. I want to see roughly where it is. This is my strategy. So, how does the strategy work, guys? These two boards represent the thickness of the bottom board, the far bottom board where we started at today. Then this represents this board back here. So I know all my screws should be going in right above this guy. And I'm going to look off to my side here. That looks really dang good. And then I check back off this corner. They seem a little bit short there and there, but I'm really close. And it's a lot easier for me to be like, okay, my board's going to be roughly here. It's a lot easier with something that is a semi-referencing guide versus just pure eyeballing it. Pure eyeballing it is. For individuals who are aggressively optimistic, which there's really nothing wrong with that, it's just not how I like to build things. I like to build things with a degree of caution. So, as I go into pre-drilling these holes, if I don't feel the drill bit going through, then I know I truly have missed. Have I missed? No, I haven't missed any of them. It's just one of the more difficult aspects of this is really seeing all your seeing everything, and also making sure your screws are, your pilot holes are parallel to the floor. That's really challenging. But I do like how that countersinking really got those screws in nicely, like the screw heads nicely, because some aspects of what we've been building here today are hidden. Then that one's just spinning, but that's fine, because the main purpose of these screws here is if I set wood materials on top of my flip tool stand, it's to keep them from, it's to provide additional support. I don't want any spooky business. So bring this over, and as we can see, oh, well, hey. Now, granted, you're supposed to be part of the drawer. Let's see. Do I have 5 1/8 here? I should have 5 1/8. Might have wanted to shim that a bit more. We might not build the drawer today. Okay, so technically that should be a hair bit higher up. I should have added a small shim to that, but because my drawer, because this is supposed to be the drawer, which it will fit in there. Just doesn't fit in there super well. So I'm gonna have to do some height adjusting on that, but that's no big deal. That's just no big deal. Okay, so one of my screws. Can I pull you close enough? Probably not. Just a hair bit too far out of the line. Okay, so let's go back to this side of the world. Get our pieces. And then we're going to use these as references for where to stick our holes at. And then I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to lift this guy up a little bit and get me a little bit more wiggle room. There, so. Woo! Grab my Kita-kun. Grab that. Get locked in. So for this first one, I'm going to lift up. Pre-drill. And I'm going to add a screw. Reason why I'm adding this screw now is I want to basically artificially raise it. Better than that. And that will help, that will bring the shelf up a little bit and give me a little bit more wiggle room to play with. Wait. Oh, I didn't pre-drill this. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting super ahead of myself. No, I'm good. I'm good. Sure, I'll grab you. Take you. And you. There we go. That is one more step done. Take you, set you off down here. That's the thing about having things on the table saw. If I go for a spin, well, bad things happen. So, should have a little bit more room on this side of the world. So, if we get that, what's supposed to be a shelf in here, we've got definitely a lot more play. Now, my options at this point are I could raise this up. That's one. Or I could just shorten my boards. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it after we actually finish building this thing. Because that's basically that's how this is gonna go down. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I do a lot of building things and then worry about how I wanna, you know, like work out some of the more finer details. So, okay, how do I want to do this next part? So the next part we're going to be working on the bottom, and you know what? Oh, tried to move the table saw. Exertion. Oh. Nope. You don't need to go anywhere. Don't need to go anywhere. So, what I'm gonna do here is drop our thing. Cause exert. Because this is basically what we're working on right now. Is this guy. This is the bottom. So we've got some reinforcing pieces of material to add to this. And then after I add reinforcing materials to it, then we can mount our casters. So I need some... Oh! Should be this? Question mark? I think one of you is a scrap, but no, wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Base frame 18, 25 and a half. Wait a second. Wait a second. I need to see where I'm at in this project. What are the size of... Okay. So you guys are all for the spinny bit. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of you for the spinny bit. Okay. There we go. I'm a little bit more oriented now. So, you're long in this dimension, so you're not the guy for that. You're the guy for that. You're the guy for that. And then you guys should be my in-betweens. Yay, I found my work pieces. Oh, dog, look at that. Let's see. Let's give these a nice corner. Run around. Feels pretty good. So, this is the bottom. This is the bottom of the thing. And this is how I'm going to do it. Is we're going to... Oh, screws. And I don't think these 1.25" will go through all this material. Wait a second. Nope, they won't. They might slightly poke out, but I don't think they'll poke out a whole lot. Not as long as I don't like cinch them down too much. Yeah, if they're a little bit protruding, that's fine, because guess what? This is the bottom. And I guess these are just like reinforcing pieces? Question mark? I'm not entirely sure. So, with one of my pieces in, I guess I could. And then we'll do one like that. But just having screws in different spots, that's gonna just really help. I don't want to hit screws I've already put in. That's my issue. Now, so I got a little bit of edge down there. So I'm pushing this out. Actually, let's wiggle that kind of a little bit more over. And, okay. So I think I got myself, yeah, that feels a lot better. That feels better. Okay. I'm gonna shift this where I have a little bit more access, a little bit more feel. So, and since I'm wanting to pull this piece that I have here, since I'm wanting to pull it in this way, I'm going to go ahead and I put a slight tilt to my drills, to my pre-drilled holes. So that way, when I cinch it in, it kind of pulls it a little bit in that direction, which should help me out. Which I do appreciate having a little bit of extra help. Always nice to have that extra bit of help. Okay. Let's go over here. Awesome sauce. Woo! Lift, move, reposition. Okay. Should have picked that up sooner. I should have picked it up sooner. Maybe. I don't know. What's... I still am actually not 100% sure what screws I want to use for the casters. I'm not entirely sure about that just yet. And there we go. Oh, guitar guy! You made it! Yeah, we've got a wooden box now. We got ourselves... Oh, Dazzle Shop, good evening to you too. I hope you two are having a wonderful Thursday. As for now, I've just finished putting in reinforcing pieces. But yeah, we got ourselves a nice little box. A nice big old giant wooden box. And what these reinforcing pieces are for are... If I can get to my magic cardboard box, I gotta go through. Come on, magic cardboard box. Ugh. The stuff a man's dreams are made of are in here. Or really just like early on in my projecting career, I bought a whole like big set of like 2-inch casters. And the thing is with 2-inch casters, they roll, but they don't roll great. But boy, oh boy, these 3-inch, so. These 3-inch casters. And they're also, so. Actually, these aren't as smooth as some of my other ones. They kind of slow down a little bit. Ooh, casters, different dream. Hey, casters are amazing. Especially, like, I wish I had one of the other casters like a sample of one of the other casters. These are an amazing quality of life thing compared to the ones I've first used. So much I bought more. These are actually the table saw stand here uses these casters. The garage garden uses those casters. A lot of things have used these casters. Now, I do have a potential. My anvil stand has casters for easy movement, so does my lumber storage. Ooh. Yeah, I've got my lumber storage is like affixed on a wall. It is my lumber storage. I actually don't have wheeled lumber storage, but everything else is on casters. Oh yeah, and also the cart. So I have a small cart underneath my main workbench. That's the cart that holds my streaming equipment when I do the campfire cooking streams. That cart has those casters. So this is going to be the 4th piece of my shop furniture that has these casters. And then I've got, because my, shucks, grab the pointer. The miter saw station that's over there, you can see the chainsaw sitting there. That has cheap casters. I don't like moving my miter saw stand. Everything else though, I like anything that I've put on these casters, I like moving around. So, yep, that's what I was thinking. So, the screws I'm using right now, I can't use. Why? The head of the screw will just fall straight on out. I can't use it as is. They look pretty smooth. Oh man, these are pretty like generic. You can just find at Amazon, but they're pretty good. Now, so let's reach over here. Let's see if the deck screws are lacking. So my screws are lacking. There's 2 options. Option 1 is a bigger screw, but there's also another option, rarely talked about. Well, I don't know how rare it is. Rarely it's talked about. But it is an option that needs to be talked about more often. And that is the magic washer. So I've got myself here a handy dandy bag of washers. The casters actually came with these washers, by the way. I just wasn't. But yeah, as we can see, the head will hold on that, and then I can also start getting my casters installed. So yeah, washers for the win. So I'm gonna line my cat. Basically, I'm gonna rough. Let's see. We'll get the long side running front to back, and we're gonna do these one at a time. So what I'm gonna do now is push, 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 and can I get a fourth push? There we go. And with those 4 pushes, I have 4 divots to pre-drill. So that way I'm not having to drill around my... Because I've drilled around the casters before. It's not fun to do that. It is not fun to do that. Damn, that magnet's good. That's a good bit magnet. Jeepers creepers. Gotta love a good magnet. Good magnet on the tool. There we go. And that will certainly work for all those. So let's go ahead and start zipping screws. Uh-oh. Click, click. Gotta listen for the magic click, click. That's how you know you've got it cinched. That's how you know you've got it torqued this back. Is when you hear the magic click, click. Okay. And because I want to go ahead and get these harder ones. Get the hard ones out of the way. So if I use 4 washers per caster, and I have 4 casters, Math says I need 20 washers to do this. I might be short, but we'll see. We'll see. And there we go. Woo! That's caster 1. So let's shift it. Gonna get you guys a little bit better view of the actions. I like it when, just a personal thing for like me, I like it when project VTubers make it easy to see what's going on. I'm not entirely sure how well I do it. It's a little bit hard for furniture raising projects like this, just because of the scope, the incredible scope of the project. It's a whole dang piece of furniture. Granted, I definitely don't think I'm not built like other VTubers, that's for sure. I am. Even the end! That washer just dances on it. Actually, wait a second. That's an easy way to pick up washers. Oh man, Makita. Which, by the way, these are actually Makita bits that I'm using here. I gotta say, I've really liked them. Probably the best Home Depot. Ooh, wait a second. Oh, crap. I bought the bit set at Home Depot, but I also bought my weed torch at Home Depot. So I was really quick to say, I was like, man, this was like the best purchase from Home Depot, but no. Weed torch might be the winner on that. Now, I haven't went like full pyromaniac on my garden yet, but One of these days. One of these days, I'll go full pyro on my garden. Whoa. Okay. I heard click. Was briefly concerned, but that was just the light for the garage garden going out. Because it's on a timer. And cinched. Yep, not going anywhere. Okay. I need some tea. Gotta have that good, delicious tea. And now, for better or worse, I'm out of tea. But that's fine. That nice and lined up how I somewhat like it. Because, you know, gotta have a project that. Granted, between this. So I also have plans for another piece of shop furniture for drill press coon. I shifted you. And then once I get that, piece of shop furniture built, I might be done building shop furniture for a while. Unless I decide to, like, rebuild something. Which, granted, I'm really tempted to rebuild the miter saw station. Which, really, if I were to rebuild it, it'd primarily just be like taking it apart and just putting it together better. Because that's probably my most jank project I've built. But that's also one of my early projects, so. That and also the miter saw it's on. That miter saw is not the original miter saw I put on it. The original miter saw was my dad's Black & Decker miter saw that lacked a blade guard. Hey, you. So since it lacked a blade guard, it was a little sketchy to use, and as a person who does shop work in a very public-facing way, I was concerned about it. So, miter saw was, well, no, because I ordered the drill press right at the start of this year. But the miter saw upgrade was definitely probably one of the nicer shop upgrades last year. I think. I feel like that's like the big upgrade I made. I mean, I made other upgrades, but that, to me, seems like the one that stands out the most. Okay, we are down to our 4th caster. And then we get to build complicated stuff. Yay, complicated stuff. Push. 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 And then 4th for the win. Think I. Also, by the way, this is why I was avoiding putting screws in my corners. Is I knew when I would get to the point where I'm putting like all this together, I didn't want to be zipping my drill bit into stuff I already have laying around, you know? Well, laying around in the wood. Avoid that. That's how you ruin drill bits. Is you hit them on random pieces of metal. That is how you ruin a perfectly good drill bit. Those make those. Huh, okay. Well, I can't pick up the washer. Because reasons, you know? You know? There's reasons. All the fun restrictions I get to have as a VTuber who does shop work. And there we go. Casters are affixed. Let's pick up our screws. Let's clean up our surface. That washer is still in its magic bag. It's good to go back in to the box. So, let's flip this bad boy. Oh. Yeah. Woo! I want to get aggressive with spinning, but there's so many other things. Woo! Wait! It spins! It's wood! And best of all, I made it. So sweet. Okay. Oh, let's grab that. Let's grab a piece of plywood. There's reasons for this piece of plywood. Hot dog. That's what I want. Because we actually now get to start making the flip component of the flip tool stand. So this is one of the pieces I pre-drilled holes on the previous stream. So I'm going to get myself a sip of water here. And we'll start laying out some wood. That's going to go roughly over there. And then these pre-drilled, I got pre-drilled holes in my thing here. Wait a second. That's a really good view right there. I like that view. That's a good view. So, let's see. Wait a second. One of you is not like the other, and I just need 4. So, we're going to work on getting one of these bad boys in first, and then we'll go from there. So, this is going to be the tabletop of the flip tool stand. Let's grab a nice handful of screws, drop them right in the center, grab our drill bit, and we'll start affixing. Let's be boundless optimism. Boundless optimism for the win. Well, whether or not I win remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. So, since all of what I'm building here is getting sandwiched between the flip tool stand there is no concern for prettiness. should give me a nice 1/4 inch. There we go. My cut's not super square on my end, but that's also what happens when I make cuts with the pull saw. So I'm thinking for these guys, we'll do 3 screws on them to affix them to the top. Well, actually, I don't know. Well, this is actually a flip tool stand, so it could be it. The top's what you want it to be, man. It can be whatever it wants. So I'm going to take care of this section right here because it is in front of my face. And then I can just spin it around and then we can work on the other side. Be nice and easy. And there we go. So I'm out of screws. Don't spill screws. Sugi, you've spilled that one Pacific container of screws before. And had to pick up all the screws that came out of that container. I know you don't want to do that again. I don't know who likes the game of picking up screws, but it's not me. I don't like playing that game. I'm not the type of person who likes playing pick up screws. And then using those wonderfully nice casters, we just spin this bad boy around. So this part here is kind of the most important. Water. That's what I'm talking about. I love my water. Water is great stuff. Really great stuff. There we go. Oh my gosh. I was losing I was like, where do they pre-drill my holes? I can't tell with all the debris from the drill. Because the debris casts shadows like the holes do. Wait. And I just tried to drill that into a knot. Granted, I did do a little bit of estate sale hunting, and I got a brush. A nice felt brush, too. Clean up any projects. Also, it does a weird thing. Because if I drop it, yeah, it does a rocky thing. Not that. Yeah. Like, this fascinates me. I literally played with that for like 5 minutes when I was first messing with it, and I think I just like casually threw it onto my workbench. Right. Okay. So I am looking at what I have here. And I need to be careful about that gap. because that gap has to accept this dowel, which it's not. Okay, so so these are supposed to be 9 inches. So you're actually technically a hair bit longer than 9, and you're both a hair bit longer than 9. Yikes! I gotta take off like. Okay. Well, that's certainly exciting. I'm a lot better with power tools than hand tools. So. Yeah, that's my issue, though. Okay. So. This isn't... Oh. Okay, well. I can fetch that. But unfortunately, I have to fetch another tool. Wait, did I not? Okay. So. I gotta trim this. Damn. And I like using the pool saw for trimming. But sometimes it doesn't really bite into the kerf really well. Come on. And that's why I always keep a chisel nearby. Especially when I'm at the assembling stage of a project. Chisels, I mean, chisels are just honestly a generally useful tool. Okay. So if I drop you in. Okay, so you're lacking. Pretty sure I can eyeball what I need to take off here. Now. This is the hard part. I need something of a stop because the pool saw cuts on the pool stroke. Ugh. Gosh, this is why I only do this for trimming. Not like actual gosh. I do not like how that feels. Better, but not ideal. Because my workpiece is less supported. Well, the first pieces of wood shaped on this dang thing are going to be pieces of wood used in its own construction. Holy smokes. That was a workout. But that dowel now fits, and it fits. It's got a little bit of play to it, but it's not like super. It's not super loose, but it's also not super tight. So it's basically ideally where I want it. So with that, I am free to put that board back down. Post handsaw water break. And then let's get this as lined up as I liked. And 3-hole screw drill. Yes, that did happen. Okay, so I'm going to throw the BRB screen on just because I dropped the thing on the floor and I need to pick it up. And we're back. And I picked my thing up off the floor. There we go. That looks pretty reasonable to me. And we have a bit and the volunteer screw. I always like it when I get a volunteer. Whoa. Easy now. That's one. 2. 3. Cool. So that's now that secured. So now what we have to do is secure the far side. And then once we secure the far side, we'll be good. So, granted, I wonder, that dowel will be that dowel looks like a hair bit proud. Look at me. I might have to get creative. Oh, actually, no. Actually, no. It'll be fun. It'll actually be fun. Okay, so once again, I cannot fit that. Ooh. We're close. We're close. So. Because it is really dang close to fitting in there. So let's grab Chisel Coon out. You know what? I might be trying to do here, but too much material removal. Granted, slicing and grain with the chisels. Normally, it's not the best solution. But this pine is exceedingly soft. So. corner. If I can get a few good cuts on that corner, then that reduces the depth I have to cut. Granted, I've got issues. And that's my hand wanting to slide into my... Okay. That looks... Ooh. That's tight. Well, not tight, but just good enough. The chisel was perfect. Chisel was perfect for that. Granted, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the final attachment because this is gonna get interesting. This is gonna get interesting because my dowel feels like it is. Oh wait, is that not? Oh, it's not down all the way. Ooh, that is an issue. Okay. Actually. Ah! Can't believe I actually got to bust this technique out today. This isn't a technique I've used very much. So, I'm wanting to remove, because I've got, what I got going on, got a real slight angle on this. I've also got a pretty rough spot on that. So, with my hand plane and the vise, ignoring how terrible that chip out is, I took a really slanted end and made it a lot better. As long as that dowel sits more into that groove, it does not still sit into that groove fully. So, what I'm gonna do is I need to play the game of determine where I want to go. Because the issue is that looks square, and I have a gap. So I have a gap between my dowel and my square, and that's with this reference off that edge. So I need to remove material here, pull. Well, no, I actually need to go that way. I need to go into that piece. Okay. So. I think I should probably just get aggressive. But sometimes I just don't want to be aggressive, you know? So what I'm wanting to do is just slide it in. And it slides, but it's a tight fit, so since it's such a tight, so that's my issue. Because one of my issues is I don't have flat reference against the back of the chisel. Because I've got my stuff not super vertical. I'm gonna do some easy stuff, which is just the size of the piece. In my hand. Because this is just, it's just really easy work to do. Real easy work to do. Chips out bad, but we're getting horrendously close. I feel like it's a matter of if I do that, it's kind of rubbing that corner. And this is just me fine-tuning. Granted, this chisel's probably due for sharpening. Okay. We are so close, we're there. That's where we're at. We are so close, we're there. Because I actually got a oak dowel for this. And one of the advantages of having an oak dowel is the oak is harder than the soft pine. So since it's harder than the soft pine, it will wear the pine. So as the flip tool stand sees use and does spins and all those good things, it should wear the pine out a little bit. So I now just got to get that last final piece right where I want it. And basically, after the amount of fussing with it that I did, I want to be really good about this. Let's get it really nice and good. Now, I do have a mild concern And that's the idea of having to... It's my order of operations for building this thing. Oh, wait. Oh. That dowel needs to get... My dowel needs to get cut short. Because the instructions... 26 and a half. Okay. Well. You know what? That's actually real fun because... essentially, in addition to having a the better part of a tabletop for a flip tool stand, is this holds dowels really well. So, tape measure, and we're gonna get this guy cut the length. Because I want... Build plans call for 26 and a half. I'm going to be extra rooney. And do 27. So. Wow. Ow, cut. Nicely. Oh. Sure, you can you can stay down there. You can stay down there. That's all fine. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I take it I'm gonna be... Ooh. Okay. So we get to get the other piece now. Also, sorry for shaking you. I'm an old man. Oh, hey, how did you get in there? Okay. So one of my questions is that I have about this is my dowel is kind of sitting on it. And I'm not sure how much that's gonna impact the thing. I don't think it's gonna impact it much because essentially what the dowel's there for... Good goodness gracious, I should probably get bolts through, is what I should do. That's what I should do. Because the part of the dowel that's actually going to spin is going to be these parts that are hanging out. What's held up by the frame is what's going to allow the flip tool stand to do its flipping. So, we've reached the point of getting into our magic bag, which I think... There we go. So I've got my washers, a couple of you guys. I need bolt, and let's see, I need... Wait, lock washers? Oh, standard washers. Ooh. Oh, dearie. And I don't know what I was supposed to do with all these lags. I don't know if I'm supposed to... Was I supposed to... Did it want me to... I think it just wanted me to build the thing with the lag screws holding it together. And I kind of just... I bought lags because I was like, hey, you're going to want lags for this. Okay. So I need to get my bolts in through my holes because it is. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Oh gosh. Oh, Sugi. You silly goose. So guys, I made a mistake. The mistake is I attached this upside down. I did not look. So my issue here is, come on. Oh. This. Because I wasn't seeing my pre-drilled holes, and I was like, I pre-drilled holes, I should be able to see holes. And I couldn't see them. And it was briefly concerning. But I'm just a guy who got carried away. But that's fine now. That's fixed. Oh, because I could see the ones on the other side, but the holes are slightly closer to one edge. They're not centered on the board, so I couldn't just assemble it however I wanted. And that's the liberty I took. Now, I think I did not... Now, excuse me for a moment. I have to hunt for washers for these bolts. Because funny enough, I think the washers I was going to use for that part of the project, they got used on the casters. So I need to see if I can't dig up some washers. Let's go to my mini hardware store. Ooh, are these gonna work? These work. Ha! Diggity! Oh, yes! Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Thank you, mini hardware store. You've now just exceedingly validated yourself. Okay. So, let's get one bolt with washer there. A bolt with washer here. Those, well, not ideal, I don't think, but that's fine. So we'll just get that guy off there. So essentially what we're building now is the mechanism that's going to let us flip this, because it's a flip. This is the flip of the flip stand. What's in front of me right now? Well, it's the top. So we're going to actually be building what is the dowel rod lets it actually flip, whereas we're actually going to build right now the locking mechanism. So these eye bolts slide in here, and then they stick out. And yep. So if I come in with my oh. Huh. The situation calls for a hammer. And hammers I have. Boy, oh boy, do I have hammers. Okay. So, to not disturb what I got on top too much, there we go. And I have to get these set first, because that top has holes that have to line up with that. So that's pretty much where we're at, is getting these bolts. Granted, he definitely intended for these to be in there. if I need to have a hammer to get them in, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. In the words of SpongeBob SquarePants, spin it around. Okay. Open up our next magic bag of hardware. Wing nuts. You are cast to the workbench. Trash. Let's get one magic washer for a bolt. And a second magic washer. Let's see, where do the lock washers come into play? I guess I'll use them on the back side. Maybe. Oh, oh, oh. You're getting eager, Beaver. Getting eager, Beaver, Sugi. Woo! Don't forget your eye bolts. There we go. And last eye bolt. Ah. Oh. Woo. Brandon, I gotta say, today's been a pretty alright day. I was actually not expecting to there we go. So that is my bolts with their washers. Now this next part's a lot of fun, and the fun part of this next part is getting my holes lined up. Now I did drill these in parallel, and what I mean by parallel is I basically did them on top of each other. So, wait. Oh. Oh. Okay. And what I think needs to happen is that I need to find the magic combination of these bad boys that works. Because I can't say so that side does not work. Okay. Wait. Really close. That will go through if I force it. But that is off, man. That is off. Jeepers creepers. Come on out. Maybe pre-drilling these wasn't a good idea. Oh, that's why it's catching. Okay. I should have put some sort of marking tape to make this lining up process easier. Because that's there. The issue is that's really dang close. Okay, well, that's 3 out of 4 victories. I gotta see where I'm doing on this corner. And I just see this one has just like a really bad angle on it. So, since that one corner has a bad angle on it, I'm gonna grab some drill bits. I'm gonna do something about it. Because I now have it started on all my other 4. So what I'm going to do here is just straighten it out a little bit. And there we go. That's it. Awesome. Granted, it calls for a washer. Oh yeah, it calls for a washer plus a lock washer. So, not sure why. I do have plenty of those, so let's get ourselves some lock nuts and some lock washers. Split these bags open and get 4 out. Not sure. Really not sure how tight I want to go on this. You come in here. There you are. There you are. Cool. So, that gets washer, a lock washer, and a lock nut. Now I need to give me a moment. Let me see what wrenches I need for these guys. Are you 3/8? No, you're not. Or maybe are you? Oh, you're 7/16. 7/16. That's 9/16. Hot dog. Oh, that's the benefit of having a. Granted, I'm assuming the. So for now, I'm just going to get it a little bit proud. Get it held together so it doesn't try to do anything spooky on me. Try to avoid spooky surprises around here because I deal with spooky surprises enough as is. So let's get this out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And inch 1 and 2. And I'm just going to get it a little bit proud now. Then spin our card around. Because what's happened here. Ooh. Is. Need to knock that bolt in a bit more. There we go. Easy fix. Washer. Lock washer and lock nut. Look at me following the diagram. I don't typically follow diagrams well. But yeah. That should be solid. There we go. Nothing like a good bit of convincence. And oh wow. That went on pretty well. Fairly well. Now lose the wrench, buddy. So, I think I just gotta now go through these guys, and because whenever I'm working with like bolts like this, I always try to get a few I try to get all my bolts started before I start really trying to like lock things down. Big reason for that is if I don't do that, I'll fight lining up the bolts and that type of stuff. Because it will fight me. Trust me, I know. Oh, wait. So, that's kind of, oh, wait, that's how I can check. Loose, loose. Kind of loose. You on the other hand are just, you're actually really tight. So, just loosen you up. Granted, I don't. So, most of these guys have a pretty bit of play. This guy doesn't have too much play. So, and loosen. Let's see, let's try to find adjustment. That's better. It's not super smooth, but that works. That works. Yapping my mouth off. Oh. So, we are now at the juncture of adding the final piece of the puzzle for our mechanism. And that is wing nuts. And I can actually throw that away because we're using up all the wing nuts. As when it comes to the hardware packages, I generally try to save my packages if I have remaining material. In which case I need 4, I bought a pack of 5. So I leave my singular washer in that pack, so that way when I go looking for washers later, and I find that pack, then but these washers and wing nuts here, these are actually going to be our locking mechanism for this guy. They're gonna be how we take it in and out of locking mode. Wow, that just has so much play. Ah! Making me do this the hard way, man. Granted, I suppose I should just leave it kind of loose. Flipper. Hop around. Get these facing my way. Three. Plus 4. Well, the final 4. There we go. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, so now comes the fun part of actually getting this onto the thing we built. So I'm trying to. First thing I want to determine is how much that dowel is absolutely stuck in there. with no play. Partly because of the compression from the bolts. So this is... Oh! Oh, whoops. Oh boy, I did a whoops. So, I like sharing whoops. So, guess where my eye bolt was supposed to go? It's in the wrong spot. So, need my... And the fun thing is, this thing's like thick enough to actually... So, step one. Loosen up what we've done. Ooh. Ooh, safe. Okay. And there we go. Nice, easy fix. Actually, does that give me a little bit? That still does not give me much play. This is gonna be the fun part. Of this, because I don't know if having that dowel fixed in place is gonna mess with me, because that dowel's supposed to be proud on both sides of this thing. Okay. So let's remove the temporary stand. Now, my first question here is, how much give? I don't have a lot of give. So I'm not... I'm not going in... Whoa! Wait a second. Did I... did I really do that? Did I follow the instructions too well? And by too well, did I drill the exact size hole I needed? I drilled the exact same size hole I needed. That's what I did. Because that's not even going in. Let alone... Granted, how's the fit, though? So, my sides do need to come out a little bit. Oh, man. Oh, that's a... Not happy about that. Because... Why did they seriously ask me? Why did they think I could get a 3/4 diameter hole with a 3/4 diameter? Wait, is it 5/8? How big was my dowel supposed to be originally? Because I have to. Did I upsize the dowel? Because I should. Because ideally I would have an 1/8 of play. Do not like. So I've got options. Options one is I can use my drill bit and try to widen it out that way. If it seems like it's jank, it is. But and I don't think that's the way to go. The way to go is I have to re-drill this hole at 7/8. I have to drill 7/8 hole, and then my dowel will go in easy. Unless that brief moment of jank was enough to fix my problem, which I doubt. Nope. My round peg will not go in my round hole. So. And so that's issue one. Issue number two is I have to. Well, there's actually a couple of issues. Issue one is I need to have a bigger hole. Issue number two is I need to freely move this dowel to some extent in order to. Because what I need to do is I need to have one end sticking out a little bit like this, and I'll probably need to loosen some of my screws at the bottom. Loosen, hook this. I need to, actually, it's tight, but how well does it hammer? Because if it hammers well, because I might loosen up my bolts to see if it hammers well. Oh, no. Oh, okay. That works. Okay. That's actually... Oh, yeah. We can live with that. Oh, yeah. That'll be perfect. So what I can do is once I get a wider hole drilled, I can basically have this hammered in where there's just a little bit. Like a little bit. And this is also why I'm using the broad face of my hammer. To where I have a lot of peg on this side, slide that in, then bring this, and then it'll hook on this hole, just enough to hook, because I just needed just enough flex for that. Yeah, that will come together. That will come together. Actually, so we just figured out problem 2 just now. However, though, there's still yet more problems. Problem number 3 is I should have raised this up a little bit. I did it for one side, and I'll probably need to do it for the other side. However, though, we are 90%. We're like really 90% of the way there. Plus there's also supposed to be a. Oh, that's a 0 clearance shelf. Oh, okay. Okay, I can live with that. That's fine. Okay, cool. I can do that. Now, admittedly, I would be really okay with continuing stream because we figured out that problem. I just have to drill 7/8 holes, which is going to be kind of a pain in the butt for me. But I can do that. That's not a... It's just hard to drill those holes when I don't have material in the center. It's really hard to widen a hole you've already made. But it's most certainly possible. I mean, worst case scenario, I could probably wrap sandpaper around something that, like a 1/2-inch dowel, and then use that to sand out the hole, and I can make it bigger. I just need to make my 3/4 holes just big enough to where I can get my dowel in. So we're really close on this project, which honestly, hey, I technically have done no breaks this stream, and we're over 2 hours, and it is a work night. So granted, I'm really glad it was also an on-call work night. So I was really glad I didn't get any calls, because I was technically on call for an hour of stream. But we are nearly there. However, though, my bladder's begging me to use the little homesteader's room, and I ideally get into bed in an hour. So I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in today. And yeah, we're really close to actually finishing this project, but we just have a little bit more work to do. No big deal. Perfectly handleable tasks ahead of ourselves. But yeah, so I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, evening, wherever it is, wherever you're at, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.